welcome you to this very, very special call that we have today. I'm so excited for this call. We're talking, man, real estate icons are on the call. I feel, man, it's an honor for me to be part of this call today. It really is. To have the opportunity to interview three people of this caliber. I mean, we're talking icon, top shelf, professional, highly successful people in the real estate profession are with us today. I mean, you're not going to find any better training anywhere in the world. We're going to do it quick. We're going to do it fast. You're going to see some really, really cool stuff. So first of all, I want to welcome our guests on the call today. We have Gail Zintek out of Kalamazoo, Michigan. We have Jay McHugh coming out of Boston, Massachusetts. And we have Jim McCord coming out of Kentucky. We want to welcome all three of you on the call today. We're going to go ahead and get started. We got a lot to cover. We're going to jump right in. We're going to do it quick. So hopefully all of you are hanging on to your hats and to have a notebook out, take some great notes. Here we go. I'm going to start with Jim McCord coming out of Kentucky. Now, Jim is a very successful real estate agent and coach. And you're doing a lot of great things out there, Jim. In fact, Jim wrote a book titled A Revolution in Real Estate Sales. I don't know if you can see that pretty good there. Available on Amazon.com. If you just look up Jay McCord, you can get access to this book. I'll tell you, it's a real short, quick read. There's some great stuff in there. Really about the stuff we're going to talk about today is all featured in this book. So it's really good. Welcome to the call, Jim. Appreciate you being with us.
Thanks, Kody.
So, Jim, I'm going to jump right in this book. Here's one of the things I love about your book is that you don't mess around. I mean, it's a very short read. I don't know if you can see how thin the book is, but like you jump right into brass tacks. I mean, you get in fast and you start going. In fact, right on page 3, you actually talk about how you took your average list price from $200,000 to a list price of $1 million. And when you're used to doing list price in the 200,000 range, it's not easy to break into that luxury home category, but you used a system to do it. You used our relationship marketing tools, philosophies, systems to do that. And I'm sure there's a lot of people on the call that would be interested in how that took place. And you've also mentioned many times of the significant increase in business you received over the years in doing that. Without further ado, brother, can you just jump in and share with us some of the things you did with our relationship marketing tools?
Yeah, thanks, Kody. I appreciate you having me on here. I got to say, I've been licensed 25 years, and at times I've been the top agent in my county in sales and the top agent in my office quite frequently. Now, in 2009, another agent introduced me to this unique relationship marketing, and I had never heard of it. I didn't have any interest. But then he actually sent something to me, and it had incredible power. I started using it instantly in 2009, and I can tell you, I have been to so many webinars. I've been to seminars. I've hired 2 different coaches, the 2 top coaches in the country over the 25 years, and I've never seen anything that's as powerful as this, absolutely anything. And I used it from 2009 until about mid-2013. And then I decided I would try and go after a high-end listing. In 21 years, I had never listed a home over $1 million, not one. And I sent a card to that expired listing with a picture of the owner of that listing and their house on the front of the card with 2 dozen cookies. And it was the first luxury listing I ever went after. And that maybe 4 or 5 days later, I got a phone call from that seller. He called me up. I'll make the story short. He called me up. He asked me to come in. He was impressed. I listed it. So after then, I started listing more. Over the next month, I listed like 3 more homes. And I decided this system is so good, I can drop all my normal real estate, tip everything below $1 million, and list only $1 million homes. It's been absolutely phenomenal.
Well, do you by chance have some of those card examples with you? Is there some stuff you could show us just because? So what we're talking about is real physical greeting cards that show up in somebody's mailbox. I know in real estate as well as most other industries are all talking about, touching the prospect with communication or touching a customer of yours with communication. But typically what they're talking about is digital communication, you know, emails and inboxes and social media touches and things like that. But what you're talking about is you mentioned a greeting card with 24 cookies that the I sent. So the whole world is going digital communication, and you have a system that reverts back to tangible touches, which is like the cards and the gifts. I know you have pictures that you show. Like you said, do you by chance have one of those cards with you?
I sure do, Kody. All the other coaches, and I myself, for the first 17 years in real estate, it was all door knocking, cold phone calling. That's what all the managers, all the coaches are teaching, and I did that, and it works. But it irritates the public. You and I don't like getting cold phone calls at home. We don't like door knocks. So this is a perfect example of a card that I sent to an expired listing here in Cincinnati. And it's got 3 pictures, 3 aerial pictures. I use aerial photos now that I'm doing luxury homes on the front, and it has that homeowner's name. And then on the inside are reasons. It's actually a photo of his home, a couple photos of his home that his previous agent used. And then I give him examples of what we do that other agents don't do. Now, keep in mind, everything else he's getting from all the other realtors is all company stuff. It's all like brochures, really nice, high-quality brochures, but it's all about the company and the agent and how great the company is. And then I always send these, almost always with 24 cookies, because the cookies are so good, and we all love opening a box. So he gets all this stuff, he or she, the owner, gets all this stuff from all these other realtors. And then they open a box, and the first thing they see is a card. And normally the first card they get, this is another one, is a picture of their house. This is another expired listing that we're going to list here in Cincinnati. It expired, and I have a picture of their house on the front, another picture on the bottom. And on the inside, I share with them how we market homes with this system. That's an aerial view of another listing. And I say in the wording on here that when they list with us, we're going to use aerial photos, or we're going to target market their home the way we target market our other listings. It's phenomenal. It's just simply phenomenal. And the other thing I'll tell you real quickly, I use the custom branding. That's my website on the back of every card. So, you know, all the other realtors are doing the same stuff, cold calling, door knocking, mailing, and mailing company information. I'm mailing them information about them.
Excellent. So you make it about the person, not about what you're offering, which is one of the principles, obviously, that we teach in our relationship marketing courses. It's all about the person. People don't care what you offer; they only care that you care. And by sending let's face it, I mean, the card's cool, but it's that 24 cookies that makes it feel like you actually really care about them. And so. And I'm joking. Obviously, it's what you say in that card that really makes the difference, and the cookies are just an add-on to it. So, you know, I happen to know you quite well, Jim. You've got an incredible story, and you actually have a system. Everything that you just showed, you can access from a smartphone. So you can take a picture with your smartphone, and you can send a real greeting card right from your smartphone. And I happen to know that you do this in your personal life as well. You use this system in your personal life, and you share some very compelling stories about how just using the system really changed you as a person. Could you just close up and share with us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I've been a realtor for 25 years. And, you know, I guess like a lot of people, I was getting a little burnout. And I ended up getting into kind of a slump, a business slump. It was a financial slump, and I was really down. And I really didn't see a way out of that slump. And then 2009, Brad Call shared this system with me. I started using it, and I got all excited again. And like I said, it's truly the best thing I've ever done in real estate. It's allowed me to list all these luxury homes. It's allowed me to write a best-selling book. It's allowed me to now coach realtors nationwide. But I checked this morning before our live, and I've sent out over 8,000 cards since 2009. And I would say about 2/3 of those are business and 1/3 are personal. And I'll just share 2 real quick stories. So some of you have heard this. My son Jimmy's a pilot, and he was making $20,000 a year flying for the airlines up Northeast. And he wanted a job here with this company really bad in Cincinnati. He said, Dad, I can't get an interview. And we ended up sending this card to that company. He had been trying to get an interview for over a year. We sent this card, their logo, and then pictures of their planes on the inside. Jimmy got the interview, got the job.
Wow.
And, you know, to get my son, and now he's actually flying for a corporation here in Cincinnati, making over 150 grand a year. He got that interview because of this relationship marketing also.
Wow.
And and then real quickly, I have a couple cousins who are sisters. They're nuns. I was raised Catholic, and they live at a convent. Well, one of the sisters in her 90s died a couple months ago, and I went to the funeral. And I was walking, they had us all over for a dinner after the service. And I was walking through the halls of the convent, and I saw a sign on one of the doors that said Sister Immaculate. So I asked the sister I was walking with, I said, that's not Sister Immaculate who used to teach at St. Thomas. She said, oh, yes, it is. I said, that was my first grade teacher. Could I meet with her? So we knocked on the door, went in, and she was just so happy to see me. Nobody goes to this old home and visits, you know, these people. And I took some pictures, and I said, Sister Immaculate, this card, I just did a little selfie. And it says, thank you, Sister Immaculate. And this is a picture of the convent she lives in. Now, that looks dark, but it's only dark because it was a dark photo. And on the back is a note from me. And it says, Sister Immaculate, you were my favorite teacher at St. Thomas. And she was my favorite teacher. I wouldn't say that. What a great way to start a little boy's year off. She called me, I sat down with 2 brownies, a box of 2 brownies, and she called me up in tears the next week. She called me up crying. This is the way it gets delivered in the box. It's just a phenomenal system, Kody, but what I told you, and it's a fact, I mean, were it not for this relationship marketing system, I probably still wouldn't be in real estate. I was in a real low spot. It's just been, without question, the best marketing I've ever done.
Well, thank you, Jim. We sure appreciate it, and appreciate the heartfelt stories as well. And again, this is a system that betters not only your business life, but your personal life as well. And you've conveyed that here today. Up on to our next guest who's on the call here today. Boy, I'll tell you, you better be hanging on to your hats when you listen to this guy, Jay McHugh, coming out of Boston, Massachusetts. He's a broker partner at Lear Realty Partners. This is a brokerage with over 400 agents that did 3,900 transactions and surpassed $1 billion in sales in the last 12 months. So we're talking about some horsepower here. I mean, this guy has done some incredible things. And I kind of want to shift a little bit and talk a little bit about the brokerage side of the business. Jay, I know that you are, you're an agent first and a broker second, and you make a point of saying that. So you practice what you preach, but you're also part of a team of people that oversees, 400 agents. So part of what you got to do, you and I have talked before, part of what you got to do is recruit and retain those agents. And so I'd like you to share with us a little bit today about how you use this system to do that. What kind of things do you do there?
Absolutely. Thanks very much, Kody, for having me on. And congratulations, Jim. I always love listening to Jim's story. And it does echo into the brokerage side of what we're talking about. So as an example, every brokerage, when they have a successful agent, is going to then be targeted by the local agents who want to get that particular all-star at their office. And so it takes 16 times the cost and the resources to gain an agent than it is to retain an agent. So we came up with this system, my wife and I. My wife is the brains behind this great growth. I might be the executioner of it, but we put in a system of not just appreciating the agent, but we also send birthday brownies to the spouse, which anchors that agent when they're having a bad hair day. Secondly, we also send brownies to their children, which cements that relationship again when there's a bad hair day. So most brokerages are sending out a Christmas or a Hanukkah party or a summer party and so forth. So what do you do in that dead zone for 6 months? Well, our agents and their family members are getting brownies. So if there is a problem, they're going to come to Stacy or myself and have a conversation. So we're retaining those agents so much more than the average brokerage ship out there. So then we came up with another great idea after reading your wonderful book. promptings, we decided that instead of sending 2 brownies, because 2 brownies, we can eat 2 brownies, we send out a 4-pack of brownies. So what happens? They share those brownies. They start conversations. They say, your agent, broker owner, sends you brownies? I think I might need to talk to him or her. We're not very happy at our agent company right now. So it's an amazing thing that can be duplicated. And it's amazing that so many broker owners don't duplicate it, but we're having massive success. In addition, now we teach the agent, do that to your own customers and your own clients and watch your business skyrocket. It's pretty amazing.
So basically what you're saying is you're just nice to people.
Consistently nice to people, knowing that those people are being targeted. So it's very, very proactive. And everybody wins. When you're nice to people, you get better relationships, you get better showings, you get better communication throughout this difficult real estate business that we are in.
Yeah, that's fantastic. You know, you're also, like you say, you're also an agent yourself. And so if you just share with us a little bit, just some of the normal standard things you do as an agent to follow up with your own customer base. Just like to hear some of that.
Again, I love your book, Promptings. You've made a great statement. Why do we tell people that we love them at the wake and the funeral? Why don't we tell them that we love them while they're living? I remember that so succinctly because my mom and dad passed away early. It's the same thing in business. Most agents are saying thank you at the closing table when they get that big fat commission check. What I teach myself and my agents going forward is send a card of thanks and brownies at the buyer agency meeting, at the listing appointment, at the home inspection, at the offer, at the signing of the purchase and sale agreement, at the loan commitment. By the time you get to the closing, they've referred you 3 or 4 or 5 different clients. It's amazing.
So the referral starts quick. That's what I find fascinating. And I get this from stories from all 3 of you and many other people in other industries. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the referral kind of starts the second you send a thank you card with a gift, like the referrals are almost immediate, like it starts almost instantly. Is that true, or am I just blowing smoke?
It is partly true. The trust and the confidence goes way up.
Right.
And they trust you and they're confident with you throughout the process. So then you can then earn the referral. Oftentimes we're always, stereotyped. We just want to make a commission. We just want to make a sale. Well, that is removed when you're spending money in appreciation dollars before you get paid. And I find it fascinating that people just don't get that. And then they struggle because, frankly speaking, when people close on a house, guess what? They don't care about the real estate agent anymore. They want to get on, sand the floors, put the new roof on, update the kitchen. So why are we not saying thank you? Now I know why, because some agents are afraid. What doesn't close, Jay? What happens if it falls apart? It's called an insurance gift then. It's an insurance policy. Just to be nice to people, you'll gain them back. You'll get an extended contract. You'll get a price reduction. It's amazing. I love it.
Well, you have a system that you use that we implement here at Send Out Cards. You've been using that system. And I often hear you talk about the simplicity of it. And you have a daughter, a 7-year-old daughter. Tell us a little bit about your little simplicity test with your daughter.
Her and I sent our first card off our app yesterday at 7 years of age. Jordan Adler says anybody who's an 8-year-old can use this system. That's how easy it is. Jordan, we've got a 7-year-old who sent her first card off the SOC app. And folks, if you're listening to this, get back to the person who invited you because Send Out Cards app is just that easy.
Wow, great stuff. Thank you, Jay. Appreciate you know that you got a lot of work that you're over there, and appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule to be with us. We're going to move on to our third guest here today, Gail Zintek. What an honor to have Gail on the call. She's actually traveling all over the country, teaching other people about this system and how it works. She's a master. She's an absolute master at relationship marketing tools and utilizing the system we have, and she's a great as a result, it's had a great effect on her real estate business. In fact, we're going to talk about how she went from 30% referral business to basically 100%. I mean, it's pretty much 100% of your business today, Gail, comes from referrals. And you've tripled your sales over the last 4 years, all using this system. You rather than go into all the stuff, I want to go to an actual story. you Gail's funny because she sends me texts all the time about, coming from her customers or prospects. You sent me a text that you received just yesterday, I think, from a customer of yours that was your 98th referral this year. Her 98th referral this year. You sent me the text with us, and just kind of the story behind it's fascinating.
Thanks, Kody. Thanks for having me on the program today. I love being with fellow agents who get what we're doing, that get relationship marketing. And yes, this morning, again, I woke up to another one, but the one the other day was from our friends. Now, to set this up, they've never bought or sold a house with us, but they're in our network. They're in our top 100. And so Christy sent me this message. She says, I know someone looking for a realtor and I wanted to send your information to her. Do you have a phone number that would be good for her to reach you, as well as your website? So, I of course responded right back, and that happens, the 98th referral that comes in, and I've been keeping track of them in my book. I still like my paper planner. So when I started this year, I had an intention to attract 100 referrals. So I started to write them down, and I'm literally filling up the book. The orange ones are the ones that have closed so far, Kody. And we put 30 homes under contract. It's July. We're probably going to increase our income again, but it's not because we're out talking to people that we don't know. We're not spending our marketing dollars on applications that bring people to us that don't know us. So we're constantly working with people that we do know, who know us, like us, trust us, and want to work with us. And just this morning, while I'll just finish this, another client, we sold them a house 8 years ago, and she says, so, and this was really endearing to me because, we just got back from a trip to Cancun, Mexico. And so this was her message this morning at 7:35. We are ready to put our house on the market. I know you are in Mexico, so when you get back, we would like to have a meeting about the next step. Hope you're having a great vacation. How many of us have clients that notice on social media that we're on vacation in Mexico, but they're willing to wait for us? So it's pretty cool.
And by the way, that was your 99th referral that was just today or yesterday, which is great.
I can't keep track.
Now you mentioned, Gail, you mentioned to me, because when you were telling the story the other day, you mentioned to me that when your 98th referral came in from this lady who referred a customer to you, that you happened to go into your card sending system to check the history of how many times you had reached out to that person with a greeting card, and you were kind of surprised at what you found. Can you walk us through that whole story? Because I think if you do that, it's going to help people to see just how powerful and easy this program is, and how effective it is. Go ahead.
Yeah, effective. I was surprised. I pulled up my contact manager, and there was like this long string of, view this card, from dating back 7 years ago to 2010 up to, when I sent the thank you for the referral card just the other day. And there were 38 cards that were sent during that period of time. And it did kind of surprise me. So I started to go back and click on the dates of the cards to see, what were the cards that I sent. The very first card I sent to Mike was actually when he joined our BNI networking group. And it was a picture of him, doing the pledge. And so that was on the inside of the card. And then other cards throughout the time, there's holiday cards, there were personal picture cards, they went golfing as a family. And so I put the pictures of them golfing on the inside of the card. Client events. Steve and I host a client event twice a year. So we have our annual Pumpkin Fest, which is in October, and then our Flower Fest. So, what's easy for me to do with our system is I have, this is like last year's card. We partner with lenders, title partners, and our daughter's daycare. We can custom brand it on the back of the cards. And then we can follow up after the event with a postcard with pictures of the event itself. So these are just examples. And what I do is I have groups of people in our system. So our top 100, which is actually about 175, to be honest with you. And I create this card and I click send. I send it to the Pumpkin Fest, the top 100 people. And those cards go out with a touch of a button. All I have to do is go in and put 2017 for this year and send them out. Same with Flower Fest. We're able to, you know, take pictures of our event, kind of put it on the inside of the card, custom branding on the back, and send those out. And that's how we're able to do it. So many of the cards that I send to them are client event cards because they come, it's an opportunity for us to get face to face with all of our clients and then to follow up with cards afterwards. So father-daughter dance, oh my gosh, I sent Mike and Callie, his daughter, a picture. They posted it on Facebook and I sent it back to them in a card. And they were so thrilled. Mike posts pictures all over social media of the card and the gift that I send to them. And that just elevates you in the minds of the people that you don't know, that you don't have a relationship. So the relationship with them expands onto their center of influences as well.
So Gail, so with the cards you send them, it's you really, it's a celebration of life. You're just celebrating their everyday life. You're not asking for business. You're not asking for a referral. You're just celebrating again. And I think both Jim and Jay spoke to this. The less you talk about what you offer and the more you put the focus on the person you're sending the card to, the better this whole system works for you. You're a master of that, by the way. You are so good at celebrating other people's lives. Now, real quick, our time is short, but I really want to touch on this. I think it's really important. I think a lot of people that are listening right now, when they see all of you guys and your examples and how cool your cards look, and Gail, you just shared a story where you went into your card history and 37 or 38 greeting cards had been sent to this person over the last 7 years. I gotta be straight. I mean, people listening in right now are probably thinking, wow, that just seems like daunting. That just seems, how in the world am I ever going to send 38 cards to somebody? But I want you to speak to that. In fact, any of the three of you can speak to that, because what people don't realize is those 38 cards is an accumulation process from some consistent activity that you do maybe in an hour or two a day. Can you guys speak to that? Start with you, Gail.
Well, you know, I look at it this way. I can market to the people I know. I can spend my time, my dollars, my energy on the people that already know, like, and trust me, and get positive results. And it's been proven. So the more consistent I am, the more I identify the people that are apt to work with us, send people to work with us. It brings joy in my life, and it brings much less stress than going out and always working with people that you spend the first 15 to 20 minutes letting them know who you are, what you do, and why they should trust you, when people can come to you because they already know, like, and trust you. So there's just really no comparison. That it takes consistent effort over time, but it's worth it.
Okay, but and I'd like all three of you to speak. This would be a great way for us to close the call. It takes, in fact, Jay's going to get animated about this. I can just warn you right up front. He's going to get animated. If you want to be successful in real estate or in any other business, doesn't matter what business it is, you have to take a conscious effort in marketing your services to people, period. You have to spend time doing that. People successful in real estate, they allocate or they time block a certain amount of time every single day to market and prospect to new people. I think what you guys are saying is that's what we do with this system. And the difference between success and failure in real estate or anywhere else is some people take the time and do it and other people don't. So in closing, I'd just like the three of you just to share your thoughts on that, and then we'll close up the call. Go ahead. Let's start with you, Jay.
Great. Thanks very much, Kody. People have been texting because we speak often, all three of us, and I'm so glad to have us on the call. But as I said earlier, people count, numbers don't. When you focus on people, you'll have an infinite amount of business. When you focus on numbers, you create cement shoes, and you don't get anything done and you go into proverbial bankruptcy. A second quote I came up with is that if you look at a garden and you just sprinkle the garden, you're also sprinkling the plants and the weeds. But if you focus and just sprinkle and water just the plants, the weeds never grow. Oftentimes in our real estate business, we're spending resources to the weeds and we run out of money and we don't really get good results. So I'd like to end by just telling people, focus more on spending your time, energy, and resources like Jim and Gail on your best clients, and you'll be successful using send-out cards.
Thank you, Jay. Appreciate you being with us. Jim, go ahead. Final thoughts.
Okay, thanks, Kody. And I'm going to share another card only because, you know, all realtors all around the country, we're all trained the same way. And I did that and it does work. But when you think you take a guy like me who was actually in a slump, a business slump and an emotional slump, who had never listed one home over $1 million, has now listed over 40 homes and is listing them nationwide all because of this product. That speaks volumes. Volumes. I mean, look at this property. That's a $6.5 million listing on Lake Michigan. And I tell you what's cool about this system is once we got that listed, we mail that to people who make $5 million or more. And this one went to a Green Bay Packer, Aaron Rodgers, and we put his picture on the front. So when he gets this, I guarantee he's never got a card. Or what's amazing about this, Kody, is 6 years ago, 10 years ago, there's not a prayer I could list a $1 million house in Kentucky. Now I got a $6.5 million house listed in Lake Michigan. Incredible. It's ridiculous. And what's different about it is all the other agents, realtors are doing the same stuff. And clients get tired. What we have to offer is not about us. It's not about our company or how great we are. We make it about them. And it has impact that you just won't believe until you try it.
Incredible stuff. Thanks, Jim. Gail, any final thoughts? Go ahead.
Well, I just echo what Jim just said. We make it about them. And people, I had a gal who sent me a message the other day, and she says, what's the difference if I go out and buy a box of cards from the dime store, the dollar store, and use your system? And this is what I told her. I said, you know, I had a client that we just listed and sold their house last month. And Lisa was referred to me in 2010. Her daughter graduated from high school, and we went over and she called us after all these years, listed her home, sold it. It's the fastest home I've ever sold in 7 hours. But here's the kicker. She had the card that I sent her in 2010 in her desk drawer. It's a picture of her and her daughter standing on the front porch of the house. And I told this gal, I said, that's the difference. If you write a handwritten note, those go far, but they're not going to save them for 7 to 10 years and call you back in the future. It's how you make other people feel. And the Maya Angelou quote, people will forget what you did, they'll forget what you said, but they'll never, ever forget the way you make them feel. And this system makes people feel loved, appreciated, and celebrated.
Fantastic. Great words from you, Gail, and from all three of our presenters today. I can't thank you enough. If you're listening to this, chances are somebody shared the post with you, got you there. Get back with that person and find out about this system that all three of these icon real estate experts use, and get back with them and find out how to make that work for you in your own life, in your personal life, or your business. We are relationship marketing at its very best. You know, we live in a digital world and we're going tangible. We're going tangible. When everybody's sending emails, we're going to send the heartfelt greeting card with the picture in it and the message from you in it, from your heart. We're going to make it about you, not about us. We're going to send you the box of brownies with it. And it's really going to separate you from other people in business. But more importantly, it just makes you a better person. That's why we started this whole movement. It's the business success is secondary to what it's really about. It's helping us to reach out, act on our promptings, reach out and be nice to other people. The world needs that. Let's go out and bring the human race together, my friends. God bless everybody. Appreciate you for being on the call today. Take care, everybody. Salute.